in the studio, so that means it's slick lick time. I think we're going to go ahead and continue with the Rhythm Library series. We were doing that the last couple of times we were in here. The last time I went over sort of an expansion of the tumbao idea, but I think we're going to continue with our Rhythm Library and put down some other grooves. So without further ado, let's get into it. A pretty simple groove that's pretty slick, and you can use it in a number of things, is a simple groove called cumbia. There's traditional ways to play cumbia, and like everything else I've mentioned, I think I only have to mention this once on this particular recording. Go ahead and do the research and look at the traditional folkloric way to play each of these rhythms, and it'll give you a much better insight. So cumbia is another one of those rhythms that you need to look up and check out. But here's a simple version of playing cumbia. It's really simple. A left hand sort of ostinato that does like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, simple thing, but it's really cool. I mean, you'll find a lot of things that you can put it in, especially if you use that as sort of a base, and then you add other things. It can really turn out cool. So cumbia. All right, let's move on and get into some other stuff. Another rhythm is songo. Songo was developed by Changuito, and again there are actual videos out of the development of songo. You can check them out. There are a number of ways to play it. There's a way to play songo that I learned and I like, so I've always played it like that. I mean, some people will argue that there's a definite traditional way. This is songo, finished. But anyway, here's one way that I learned to play songo, and it's pretty cool. So songo, pretty simple groove. Again, if you go on, you can learn different ways to play it and apply it. But it's a really cool sort of groove that fits into a lot of contemporary stuff. Another groove, excuse me, which is really cool and has a lot of different applications is merengue. And I think I did this on one of the earlier ones, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to kind of throw that in here just so we'll have it. All right. To keep the thrust of the groove going, it's really important that this is a nice, clean, crisp, driving kind of tapao or slap, so that it really moves along. Cool, so merengue. Another cool groove is timba. And timba, there's a number of ways to play it. You'll find that some people say there is no gospel of timba. In other words, there's not the locked down, this is timba pattern, because a lot depends on the nature of the song and how you play your marcha in accordance with that song, along with the breaks, the different gears that go in timba. But here's one timba marcha that I have learned and that I've used on occasion. But again, this is not gospel because you'll find different people play them differently. There's been whole books written on the way particular people play timba marches. So go ahead and again do the research on it, but here's one idea. So one way to play a timba marcha. One of the things about a lot of the marches in timba, they cover 2 claves. In other words, they're 2 claves long. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I'll play this again. I'll play it a little bit slower. So this is timba. Another rhythm which is really popular is called Waraponchingueo. I learned it a very long time ago in Washington, D.C. from Pedrito Martinez, and actually at that time he played it on one cajon, and then we had tumbadores also set up a conga setup on the side. So at that time we would kind of learn it in a folkloric fashion. Since that time I've also learned other versions of playing it and also applying it in a, just in a 3-drum context, playing by yourself in a band context. So here's Waraponchingueo. So that's one way playing Waraponchingueo, 3 drums by yourself. All right, peace. So we got a couple of more rhythms to add to the rhythm library. I thought about doing some of the Peruvian stuff, lando and festejo, which you play on cajon. I've also seen it played on congas or played in conjunction with congas, and it's also pretty cool, but perhaps I'll save that for the next one, not to make these too long. Anyways, all right, peace. See you on the next one.